Hi guys, I am here at a cafe called Happy Days Cafe Outdoor Dining, and today we are going to talk a little bit about broke expats in the Philippines, expats that scam, and just general problems that you might have with other expats. Stick around. So we're going into Happy Days Cafe Outdoor Dining. I'm going to grab an inexpensive lunch with great views. Buntag or hapon. So here is the place. I'm going to go down and show you the lower level here, and we'll talk about today's topic. So this thing is massive, sprawling. You got, actually they do lechon here. This is all still kind of under construction, but this is all outdoor dining and it's huge. It's like 4 different areas of places. But good views, you know, you got views of the city. We'll go take a look at the one last section, and we'll talk about today's topic. I'll talk about some personal experiences that I've had just recently within the last week or so. So again, this is all being constructed, but nobody's even eating down here yet. A lot of fish baskets and chairs, and this is all outside and some of it's undercover. There we go. So that's a view of the place. This is called Happy Days Outdoor Dining. So we're going to go ahead and sit down and talk. I'm going to go back upstairs where there's some shade. All right, guys. So I did a video about this actually a long time ago. Expats in the Philippines warning. And really, honestly, for the most part, most expats here are pretty good guys. Most people I meet, most people that come out here, I mean, the majority of them are really good guys. It's really few far and in between that I've run across the ones that end up being broke, scamming, causing problems for other people. The very first time I came out to the Philippines in 2015, I was in Davao. And the mall had just opened up. I was waiting outside to get into the mall. There was another foreigner. He almost looked homeless. I think he was homeless. And he was holding a Bible. Obviously had some kind of mental issues. And he was screaming at the top of his lungs. This was before the mall opened. There was a line of people waiting to get in. Screaming, saying, the Lord will save you. And really, people were just, everybody was staring. Security wasn't even sure what to do at this point. And of course, I'm probably like 5 people away, but people start staring at me. Why? Because guilt by association, I guess. You know, I'm a foreigner, he's a foreigner, I'm 5 people away, and all of a sudden I'm being grouped in with this crazy guy here. And then I started when Filipinos were looking at me, I was like, I was going like this. I was like, I don't know this guy, acting like, and laughing, and then they started laughing too. But initially they thought I was with them. And this kind of happens, and this is why sometimes I don't like living, people wonder why I don't like living with a ton of foreigners around. For example, Dumaguete, the majority of the people I met, again, mostly good people. But I like out on the boardwalk in Dumaguete there, group of people like to sit out there, and every day they're out there drinking from morning to night. And what do? They complain about their Filipino wives. They complain about the Philippines. And you go into the restaurant with your girlfriend or whoever, or with your buddies, and guess what? Guilt by association again, It's like these people are oblivious to all the Filipinos who come in there and dine as well. The Filipino waitresses. Construction noise going on here. So again, guilt by association. They don't pay any mind to all the Filipino waitresses that are there, listening to their conversations, complaining about this, complaining about that, how much they hate it here and how much better it was in the West, and complain about their Filipinas and the wacky things that they do, and drinking, and and again, what do? They lump us all into one category because this is what they're exposed to on a daily basis, the waitresses, for example. And that's another reason why I like to go and live in places with not a lot of foreigners. I want people to base their opinion on foreigners based off of my own personal example, not because this group of people over here are a bunch of alcoholics and talk bad about the Philippines. And that's one of the reasons I don't really like places like Dumaguete, Cebu, different areas. Yes, I've lived there for different reasons throughout the years. I've liked to move around, but I do think at some point I'll probably end up in a more quiet province type of life where I can have a more of a quiet life, and Filipinos will base their opinion on foreigners based on my own actions and not the actions of many. Now the other thing is you get a lot of broke, no, I shouldn't say a lot, but you get the broke expats and you get the ones who are scammers. Honestly, the majority of the time you have more problems with other foreigners and expats than you do with any Filipinos, to be honest. Now, I'm not going to mention a name, I'm not going to mention details, I don't want to expose anybody, but there's somebody that I know. I don't know him very well. He was introduced to me by some other people, and I've only met him maybe 3 or 4 times. It was in a city I previously lived, and he reached out to me the other day. Hey, Gio, how you doing? I was like, good. How are you? And he's like, making small talk, and we chit chat a little bit. I haven't talked to him in 6 months or something. And again, I've only met him 2 or 3 times in person. I wouldn't say we're friends. We're more like acquaintances. I know who he is. He knows who I am. And he says, hey, listen, I've fallen upon hard times. I can't feed my wife and my kids, just a little bit of money, a couple thousand pesos, and I'll pay you back, I promise. And honestly, it sounded like a Filipino loan, you lend the money and you never get it back. I shouldn't say that about all Filipinos, it's not true. But anyway, I just put him on the ignore, and I went on his Facebook page. And literally 2 days before he reached out to me, 2 days before, he made a post on his Facebook page saying, I'm doing a food drive for the victims of Odette, Typhoon Odette. Please send money to my PayPal, or I can't remember what he used. I think it was PayPal. And he said, I'll send pictures of me handing out food. Now he could hand out food to 2 or 3 people and use those photos to continue to send the same exact photos to every single person. I don't know. I don't know if it was legit. I can't say if he was legitimately helping people or not. But it is a bit suspicious that he would ask me for money, saying he doesn't have enough money to feed his own wife and kids. But in the same breath, or not in the same breath, but a couple days before on his Facebook, he's asking for donations to hand out food and items for Typhoon Odette victims. And you know what? I just unfriended him and I put him on ignore and blocked him because I don't have time for that. When you come out to the Philippines, most expats really hit that area where they're usually above 60. That's just the truth of the matter. Most come out here and they've already got a pension, they've got Social Security, they've got their 401ks or whatever, and they've got a steady income coming in. For the most part, those guys are usually okay. They may have to budget and they may have to watch their pesos, but they know they have a steady monthly income. And then you get guys like me, my age, and they're still having to work and scramble around and make money. Thankfully, I've never really had any problems. But I can tell you what, if I came down to my last $1,000, do you think I'm going to be sitting around in the Philippines hoping for the best? No, I'm going to get a ticket and I'm going to leave. I'm going to get back home and try to make money and get back out here if I have to. But to sit here until you have absolutely no pesos left and then have to beg other expats and I've seen them out on the streets even here in the Philippines begging for money from hardworking Filipinos who barely have enough money themselves, and they're looking for a handout. And you get the guys who, they're scammers out there. There's a lot of expats who want to start a business. Hey, let's do this business together. And I've heard of expats who've lent money and then the guy goes to another island, or he gets money for a business idea and we lost the money, you know, the business never panned out and we lost all the money. So you do have that very small percentage of broke expats. You get some who will do scamming. You'll have the ones who badmouth everything about the Philippines, everything from their wives to their kids, complaining about their kids, to the infrastructure, to the way things are run. And listen, I get it. No country's perfect. There are things to complain about sometimes, but that's their daily life. And if you go into a restaurant and there's a bunch of expats hanging around drinking, guess what? You're lumped into that category. That's just automatically, they think kind of the same of you that they do of the other guys that are all sitting there. It's just the way it is. But anyway, food for thought. Tell me what stories you have. Has this happened to you out here? Again, it's few, far, and in between, but I feel like it does kind of need to be discussed. Anyway, I'm going to go get my food. I will show you guys, and yeah, we'll chat later.
Wow! Come on, can you groove it over? I said, baby, I know you're on a roll. Sweet honey, let's take it real